Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the Natives in America podcast, episode 13, and we are calling this episode the Road Trips episode. For starters, I'd like to give further props to Ronnie James. You can reach him at Instagram at Ronnie James Photography _ this photo, we're going back to his collection, and I always like looking through his photos and wondering, what can I do to connect this to the story that we're trying to tell here. And in this photo, it's a shot from cells pointed towards Kit Peak. Looks like early evening, a moon's coming up, not quite the sun. In the beginning, I couldn't tell which part. I knew it was cells, but I couldn't tell which part of cells, and I just figured it out. So just as a little mystery, I would like you guys to, anybody who's ever driven through cells will recognize this at some point for what it is and where it is. So I'd like you guys to sit back and think about where you think this is, because it took me a minute and now I figured it out. So the reason I chose this photo is, which is another great one, this is probably one of the fewer ones that we don't see so much, that I don't see so much in Ronnie's collection is city life, because I usually see natural plant life. He does like some road shots, and this is a road shot from cells. And the reason I picked it was that when I see this, I see cells. When I think cells, I think reservation, and I think home when I think of the reservation. And this is a shot of something that makes me think of home. And I think whenever you do a road trip, it's either to or from home. So there's the connection right there. That's what I'm going to put on it. So this I'm kind of producing late in the evening, so I'm sorry if you guys are, waiting all day for this. I usually try to get it out about noon, around noontime. But here it is. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in and keeping track. And if you're one of our followers, if you're subscribed to us on YouTube, thank you very much. And I really appreciate if you guys also hit that notification button. It makes delivery of these episodes so much easier. So I guess without further ado, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I re-listened to parts of this in the beginning and probably the end where I edited up and all that. And I hope you guys enjoy. This is yet another episode. We're up to episode 13. And I'm still struggling with the idea of how we're going to catch up. Like, I think it'd be really cool if we could release these, release the one we recorded the same week or maybe the week before. Because at the beginning of this one, I think we say, hey, we finally got it out. We finally got it started. So you can tell just by this one and how frustrated the Sky sounds. It's like, motherfucker, at least you finally got it up. Well, this is episode 13, and I'm talking in this one about, hey, we finally got the first one up on YouTube. So, yes, just like our episode back then where we were talking about procrastination, yes, I'm a big procrastinator, but like I had said before, there was a little fear in setting up to release this podcast to the world, So I think we're doing pretty damn good and successful, thanks to you guys, the listeners and the followers, and I think Sky and Ronnie James, you guys are all, and Linus, you guys are all contributing to what I think is a successful podcast. So I just want to say thanks to you guys, the listeners, and to everybody who's helping me produce this. Thanks guys. tune in every week, all right? Because we're just going to keep coming. As far as I know, I don't think me and Sky are stopping. We really enjoy putting these out. So, without further ado, this is episode 13, Road Trips. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, everybody. This is welcome back. It's Wednesday again, so it's our recording day. We're back. This is Benjamin Wan, your host, and as always with me is my co-host Sky Anto. It's Wednesday, September 15th, 16th. Okay, so September 16th. Wednesday, we're recording again. We're starting a little late. It's almost 7 already. So we might have to call this one short at like an hour or something, but here we are again. Big news. I think we're like 12 to 13 episodes. This might be the 13th. And I finally got the fucking shit online. Finally. We got our episode 1, so that's pretty big news. Like, we didn't have it before, and now we can start sharing the details. Start sending it out and seeing what people think. Like, maybe get feedback. I think it's still kind of early. Like, I think I checked the post, and it said like 4 days ago or something like that. 2 days ago, right? It might not even be 4 days ago. I think it might be like 3 days old now.
Really? That's like a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. My work starts one day, ends on another day.
Oh,
I can't track my days at all.
Well, it doesn't really count until it's on. Like, you might have started it 4 days ago, but...
Yeah, well...
You finished it yesterday.
Yeah. I guess if we're being technical, I started this shit like 13 weeks ago. Yeah. So I don't know what to say about that. It's we put up our pilot episode, and I was I had got that renewed sense of excitement where it's like, hey, we're doing this. We're going forward, and to finally get that first episode, like I'm sure so far, like once you guys all catch up to what we're recording here, you're gonna hear us talk about it several times of me just fucking dragging my feet. Like, I think there was a little bit of fear in there. Like the last couple of episodes, I actually listened to what people said, and it discouraged me, like my other podcasts. So I think there was a little bit of fear in me holding back this long. But now that it's out there, I'm kind of glad. I got renewed excitement about the whole project. Like, I'm glad we're doing this. I mean, this whole time I was glad we're doing this. It's just now it's out there. We're sharing it with the world.
Yeah, it's kind of official, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've kicked it off. Matter of fact, we should probably note that fucking date. Like, I think I put it up Monday. No, it had to be Sunday. I think because I think I had to go to work for the first time on the weekend. No, you know what? I put it up Tuesday because I just got out of court, and I was so happy that nothing happened to me. Really, nothing bad happened to me that I was so excited. I was like, "Fuck yeah! I'll put this shit out now." So it's out there. That Tuesday. If today is the 16th, then I think it was the Tuesday the 14th or some shit like that. I don't know. I can't. Like I said,
you did it finally. Stay on it. We're good. I think we're in that pattern where Wednesday we know we gotta do a podcast. I mean, I think I'm trained now to know that we're doing this.
Like it's showtime.
Yeah. So now having it kind of marked on the web, it's a little. I mean, it's a shot in the dark,
Yeah, so far, like, I think once we got all the episodes up, I don't know. I think it comes down to variety. And
Yeah,
as I've heard several people say, like, you gotta just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Content. So.
Yeah, no, I saw I was watching. I think it was a Joe Rogan one.
Yeah.
They were like episode 290 something, you know, and
yeah. I think he's been in it over 10 years now.
Damn.
And we got a ways to go if we're trying to hit those numbers, but shit, since we do it so often, we might hit that sooner than we think.
Well, I was just now thinking that, like, as a podcast listener, I mean, not unless you're like a fanatic, like, you don't hear every episode.
Yeah.
But then I think, like, when you look at someone's channel, you see the general, what they're talking about in that link. So
yeah, and, I think you can't help but kind of touch back on previous episodes too, like it or not. You kind of.
Oh yeah.
There are some repeats. Like, I'm definitely going to talk about aliens almost every episode, and probably have some heartwarming shit to say.
Yeah, I think I might tell the same story
A couple times.
Yeah. Well, isn't that what we always do? Isn't that kind of life? Like,
yeah,
you know, you kind of have those stories you tell, and then you kind of retell them when you tell them all and you start over.
I've done it a few times where I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I told you this already, and sometimes it's like, yeah, dude, like a million fucking times.
Yeah, I was like,
I can tell you this right now.
Every goddamn day I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, but then it's not even that bad. No, sometimes it's like, I want to hear the story again, you know? Or,
yeah.
I was like, but I didn't tell you this part, you know?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that kind of what today's topic is on? Isn't it kind of like what we're doing now is recollecting our travel stories and shit? But
okay, yeah.
But it's the same thing, like.
Well, co-host, what is the subject? What is the topic of today?
Oh well, did you see the memo? The memo.
Did I get the memo? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just threw out road stories, you know, like.
Yeah.
Vacations, no family trips.
Yeah, I already got a few in mind.
Maybe some like what do you call it? Like when you go by yourself somewhere, or experience something on your own, and sort of come back more wiser. I don't know.
That sounds like a spiritual journey right there.
Oh yeah, that's a vision quest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was trying to think of the term there. Go find your spirit animal.
You know, now that it's kind of going that route, I went to Montana, but I flew. I went when I was going to school, and. You know, at the time, I didn't think of it like a spiritual journey, but now, after some years, it was pretty symbolic and a lot of, you know, crazy, like, almost people you meet in a previous life that, you know, you kind of meet later on, or, I don't know, it was sort of like, you know, I was finishing up school. The thing that we were going to was like it's called AHEC. It's like a tribal college conference. So it's, you know, pretty much a bunch of natives on one spot, and they do like competitions, like photography competitions. I was in the public speaking competition.
Really?
And during that semester, I was doing a public speaking class, and we were able to get to go to that conference and use sort of say, well, we're going to practice our speeches there. And so we justified it to be able to travel to Montana. And
that's cool.
So we took a plane, and I mean that's always. I don't know. I've only been on a plane a few times, so that's not like
it's kind of a big thing. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and so that was just cool. Meeting a lot of other Native people that are in education and that were kind of doing the same thing I'm doing, but on their own way. So. It was funny because I wrote a speech and I was happy with it, and I was glad with how it came out, and I felt it was good enough to show, I guess. I don't know. But I didn't really follow the criteria of what they were asking in the conference. So, like, I had a good speech, but it didn't really fall in line to what they wanted. So, it's not like I won or anything, but I still placed 7th.
Oh, no kidding.
So, I mean, like, coming home to that, just, like, knowing, you did pretty good for not following the rules, and, now you're back in Arizona where it was snowing out there, like,
damn.
Like I'd never seen snow, and I remember there was this one moment where, I don't know if it's just because we're used to walking out in the desert, and we kind of create our own trails, but sometimes we don't always follow the sidewalk when we go to like the city.
Yeah.
And there was a sidewalk that everybody was taking, but where I was staying at, there was a long, path that you could just kind of cut through, and it cut the trip down if you went that route. And so me just thinking, hey, I'm gonna beat you guys, and I'm not gonna go that long way. I try to go, and walking in that snow, and snow's like, man, fuck snow, and TV, they make snow look so fun and soft, and it's not.
There's
it's
different kinds
like
of snow, man. There's different kinds.
And so I'm walking in the snow to my hotel, and it's like this long pathway it's all grass underneath, but I started to walk and be all cool. There's people that see me, and I next thing you know, I'm laying on the back like I slipped, and I'm looking up at the sky like this. Like, what happened? And it was just a funny moment because me not knowing nothing about being in snow and thinking I could just walk over it, and I'm laying on the floor and everybody's laughing because.
Nice. Try to be a trailblazer, huh?
So I mean, I think it was just a lot of learning, and
I once did it was like a school visiting trip, and we went. Me and Meg, we went and visited the Tufts College in Boston, Massachusetts, and we went out there. And when I got off the plane, they had announced it was 15 degrees outside. And as we were touring, the tour guy's like, hey, just a heads up, whenever the temperature is fluctuating around the freezing temperature, not so much at 15 degrees, but 32, 30 degrees, 36 degrees, he was saying right on above, on it above it and below it, the freezing temperature at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Whenever the temperature fluctuates around that time, you tend to get melting. Like the snow will melt and then refreeze, and what you end up with is black ice. And like I've heard of it. I might have even kind of seen it on TV or something, but like the whole time we're walking, and at some point we crossed the sidewalk, and it had fucking black ice on it, and I just started slipping and sliding. I looked like a fucking, brand new baby deer, just fucking slipping and sliding, fumbling around. I think Meg almost went down. And like we're like whoa, like there's no grip at all. I almost went down, and I think in the 5 or 10 minutes that we were standing there, we saw like 4 or 5 people like almost bite the dust, and I think even one guy went down. So it was like complete. It was eye opening. Like it was just a simple trip. Like they paid for us to fly out the college, and we went to like. Check out the campus, and they said we could audit classes. I don't think I even audited classes. I just kind of did my own thing. I was completely out of my element, and like you said, I'm used to the desert, but I was out there. And one thing I remember too was like there was this big hill. Like we were on the college campus, and like this whole area was kind of situated around this big hill, and the hill was on the hold on. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west, so the hill was on the west side of the campus, and everything was okay. Like I was outside playing, shooting some hoops. I was by myself at the time, and I was shooting some hoops, and like it was cold, whatever, like no big deal. It was cold out, which isn't huge. Like it's like, all right, I'm used to cold, but like the sun started going down, and I swear the very second it went behind the hill, I instantly started seeing my breath, and my nose just started running. Like the temperature dropped like instantly. I was just like, holy fuck! Like it's like okay, it's time to go in now. Like I was like, holy crap! Like the temperature just dropped the second that sun went behind the hill. So that was interesting. But again, that's like we're out of our element. You take a dolphin and throw it on the ground. Like it doesn't belong there. It belongs out in the ocean. I belong in the desert. And to be in a place with black ice, like it wasn't right.
Damn. Is it like kind of when we leave home, or when we leave what we call home, we're sort of like I don't know, like. I guess I never really thought of that, like how, there's different temperatures all over the world, and we just know our own, so when we try to go somewhere else, we're sort of, we don't know the rules.
Yeah, the rules. We're out of our element, and we gotta learn the rules, or you're not gonna make it.
Yeah. So those are plane trips. Like because I forgot about the story in Montana, but like I was thinking like road trips.
Yeah.
To I think one of the most funnest road trips was probably when I went with my mom and my brother and his girlfriend to Vegas, and we were in Vegas for a couple of days, and then we just sort of went down, because we had to go up north in the northern Arizona area, so we were just kind of cruising through, all of that Flagstaff, and there's so many towns, but like,
there's a shit ton.
I think me being pumped about Vegas, and then kind of, it had just been right when I graduated. So I was sort of like, I didn't really have any direction. I after I graduated, it was kind of weird because it's like I didn't have a job for a few months, and I was kind of just babysitting, not really, just kind of waiting for a call. That was pretty much what I was doing. So, the road trip was more just like, I think just having fun for the first time, not worrying about like school and trying to like, get back and get to class. I was just like, I'm alive, I'm with my family, or, we got an ice chest full of drinks, it's just like living it up. But I think I was more of the entertainment for my family because I was so excited, and so kind of like, I don't know, just on one. When you're in Vegas and playing, gambling, drinking, it's just like the movies, where I guess in your head, but I just remember like, the next day you gotta check out early and go and get back on the road, and I kind of went a little too hard the night before, and we had to leave Vegas or Nevada for that day. We were leaving the morning, and I just remember being so hungover but happy, and just but like, I gotta go, and then it's like, it's funny because it's, Vegas is like a non-stop party stop. So it's like, you can be leaving, but the party's still going,
It's still on out there somewhere,
So it was almost like me, like, not wanting to go, but wanting to go because we're on this road trip, and, we're on to our next destination. Because we had drove from home to Vegas, and then we did that. We almost did like a big triangle. But there's this place that's like it's like the Flintstones, Bedrock, like their actual homes. Like it's like the place where they live, the villages, but they like remade them. And it's near Flagstaff, but that was a pretty cool spot. And just kind of like being in the Flintstones too. That was one of the places we stopped at. I was just having so much fun. But a lot of it was just because I was done with school. Well, I think that was fueling it, but I was, like I said, on one, just kind of enjoying the sights, the people, whatever was coming your way.
Well, it's again, it's out of your element, and you're seeing shit either for the first time or seeing shit that you'd never see anywhere else. Or definitely not back home.
That's I remember because we had rented a car too, and that was when Monster. I don't know. I think that's when I first started. I had my first Monster because I was like, or I don't know if we just had packed Monsters that day. I don't know what happened, but like, I was drinking a Monster, and me not paying attention, it spilled in the whole. Like it started to spill in the whole back seat, and like improvising, I just pretty much took off my shirt and soaked it up, and like it wasn't really that bad of a mess, but I I said, like, I was kind of the entertainment for my family, so they were just kind of like, man, this guy,
This fucking guy, he's taking his shirt off. This isn't a party until Sky takes his shirt off.
Yeah, no, that's...
This guy's an animal in the back seat.
I'm like, I'm not even... Like, if shirts were not a thing, I would probably not even buy it.
You'd be wearing some leaves on your nipples. Yeah, a while back. Hold on, my mic's situated weird. It's all loud. A while back, my old man hit he's a big gambler, and a while back he hit a bonus and got something like $4 or $5 grand, and immediately I think he gave like half to my mom. And then it was like, hey, let's do a fucking trip. Like, let's go for it. And like, it was just kind of random, out of the blue. And I don't think I was working or going to school. I think I was just living on the couch or something. Like, somehow I was able to make this trip. Like, lately, like, I've been working weird fucking hours. Like, I do have days off, but like, just doesn't feel like I ever have time to go do something like that. But we all just happen to have it. Like me, my mom, my dad, and my sister. And I think it was like our last like big family trip together, because we used to do trips and camp out all the fucking time, but like this last one, I guess my dad just came into some money, gave my mom some money, and then it was like they just decided, all right, let's fucking go. Like, we didn't go to Vegas, we went to Laughlin. Which is, same kind of deal. I feel like it's a little older people, but still,
that's still popular.
Yeah, it's still there's still clubs and shit. There's still gambling. There's still entertainment. It's just I think we actually circled it around entertainment. We went to go see Smokey Robinson.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Smoke, and yeah, we had a couple grand, and what was so great about it, like, we just rented a vehicle, so we weren't like trashing our car, and it was a big car. It was like a Crown Vic, like a Ford Crown Victoria.
Wow.
And it was pretty good on gas. It had these big ass seats, and like, it was fast, it's powerful, it had a big engine, and we went. So we rented the car, and it was like, whatever you want to do, we could do, because we just had money that, the day before we didn't have. So it's like, oh, you're hungry? Yeah, let's get some food. Oh, you want to do some gambling? Here, take a little money and go gamble. Like, oh, you want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, just thawing it out is the term. We're thawing it out. And, damn, it was fun. Like we saw Smokey, like, he's like, I want to say like in his 70s, maybe late 60s. Like, he's an old man, and on the stage, man, he was like manhandling these women, like, yeah, what's up, like, spinning them around, and there was one point where he had like this chick bent over in front of him, and he was like pulling her towards him, and he's all pointing out in the crowd to all these hot flashing women, like. I was cracking up. I was like, dude, like, my eyes got all big, and I was like, oh shit. Like, the way I described it was, he was piercing my heart with his cock, because he was pointing out there and like thrusting, and I was like, oh shit. He was thrilling me, basically. He was thrilling me with his pelvis. He was heart fucking me, and I was having a great time. Like, it was just like, whoa, like, this shit. This 70-year-old man knows how to party, like, and all these women, like, I'm sure panties flew up there on the stage. There's women out in the crowd that that he pointed at, like, it was funny, like, he was just like, he had a stage presence, and he was just like pointing out, like, you, like, what's up, girl? Yeah, you. And they were getting thrilled, like, screaming, like, oh, Smokey! And I was just like, oh, shit, like, this is badass. And it also turns out, like, he was like a shadow writer for all these other musicians, so he was, like, doing covers of bands, and, like, doing his own shit, and all of it was what he had written.
Yeah.
So like, he had written all these songs for all these other artists, and you know them as these other artists' songs, but it turns out they're actually his songs. And they're great. Like, all of them were like really well written. They were kind of catchy. At the same time, it was like I kept singing after the show. I was like, I love it when we're cruising together. I love it when we're cruising together. And yeah, he did that. So I just kept singing it, and damn, it was a good time. Like, I think I feel like it was recent enough that the kids should have been with us, but they weren't. Like my niece and nephew, my sister's kids. I don't think Amadeus was born yet, but it was like it was my parents and me and Jen. So it was like it kind of made us feel like children again. Even though I was like pounding beers wherever we went, and like just. Like I was checking out women and shit. Like it was like the parents and the kids, and we were the kids. So it was like classic family fun. And I think it was our last like thing like that we've done. Like where both my mom and my dad were still kind of like really mobile. And yeah, man. So something about road trips. Like you said, like we've already covered it, is you're out of your element, you're kind of exploring, you're seeing new sights, but like another part of it is kind of, I don't want to put it quite like, oh, it's the American dream, but it's like, I'm sure it's been sold like that a million times in advertising and whatever else. Is like the open road, and there really is something to that, just hitting the open road, like. You're kind of like you said. You were the entertainment. Like you're in the car with these personalities, and most of the time there's nothing to do. So like that can work out several. One of several ways. Like you can talk the whole way. You can listen to music and sing. You can just pass the fuck out and not talk. Like it's all these things, and they all. One way or the other, it's like you're together, you're experiencing these new things together. Like it was a bonding situation. Like are we after the show? Like after all that, like we were bonded again. Like it was kind of renewing for our family. Come to think of it, I feel like I should go on a road trip soon, because. Just on that basis alone, like trying to bond with your family again, taking some time just for you guys. Yeah. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but go for it. No, it's the return home. Kind of like when you say you guys got closer, the bond got a little stronger. It's like when you come home, it's kind of like. We all shared that experience, and we're sort of renewed for now. I think of a time when my mom actually moved. She moved up north to teach, and it was kind of weird because we were adults. I think we were adults, but it was like suddenly she's moving away, and we gotta help her move, but yet we also kind of like visiting her too. So we're driving a lot up north, and just like even it's kind of like you're not forced to put up with somebody, but like if you have a good road trip, you kind of bond with whoever you're with. Yeah. And or not. Oh yeah, or it brings out something you gotta address, and but there's always there's some type of clarity. Maybe it's coming home, but it's
like I said, there's a different vibe that's almost like I'm home now, and or no, maybe it's like you made it back safe or something, but
yeah.
No, me and my aunt I think we're always close, but like us being on that road and going to visit my mom and then coming back and sort of like, I think we went to a couple casinos and stopped off and ate and just really just sort of just got to know each other, because that's kind of like that's all you kind of got to do is ask questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're all in due for a road trip. Especially how things have been with everybody in quarantine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like going out north. It's a trip because you go to different reservations and and they got different things that they do, and then there's a lot of similarities. So it's always like a parallel universe going to another res.
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever been.
No?
No, I don't think so. Maybe driving through, but not like staying long enough to catch up on any of the culture.
Well, it's not like, it's interesting because like when we do the same thing where we sell food and we have vendors that are selling their artwork and stuff, but
yeah,
up north we see a lot of that. We see a lot of people like selling their jewelry and what's pretty cool about that is they got a lot of flea markets, where it's like I think in Oriental it was like every Wednesday they got a flea market, and then that's just like in Tucson, the swap meet, like everybody comes out and sells stuff, and
yeah,
but they do it every Wednesday, and it's just kind of like a set thing. Well, I don't know if it was Wednesday, it was a day of the week, but it was, I was like just like a kid in a candy store. I don't know why. I think it was just, they had cool beanies, and yeah, it's just like I said, like you're out of your element too, and it's just I don't know. It is kind of like a sense of freedom too, because you're not where you're normally at. Yeah,
and sometimes the clock kind of ceases to exist. The schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing that makes like regular life almost unbearable. It's just like, fuck, you're a slave to the clock. You're a slave to your schedule. Just like, I don't want to. It's back to the grinding stone. Like, fuck, I gotta get up today. It's 7 o'clock. Gotta go do this. And it's not especially something you would choose to do if you had a choice. Like, I'm gonna go sit in a cubicle, or I'm gonna go and work so hard my back hurts the next day. I'm gonna go do all this. It's like, no, gotta make that money.
Yeah, well, it's like what they say, like the honeymoon phase. Like anywhere you go, like if you're there for a long enough time, you're gonna start getting those challenges. But like just kind of going through it, a place for a little bit of time, you're kind of like you're sort of leaving, you're ditching it before problems could arise, or before your attitude could change about the place,
You're leaving before the honeymoon phase dies off?
Yeah.
I like that. That sounds cool.
I mean, can you imagine forever being on a honeymoon?
Sounds fucking awesome.
That sound nice to you?
That must be like winning the lotto and just never coming home.
Well, come to think of it, like, the whole honeymoon, whatever, is sort of like it's kind of like a road trip too, you know?
Absolutely.
I mean, not to say I have experience but it kind of feels that way where you kind of got to get to know somebody and it's almost like knowing about them out of their element.
Yeah.
But
you know that's an interesting point. I didn't think about it that way, but you can't help but feel the way you feel. Like you're your own person, and when you go on these trips, you're experiencing you in a different environment. But also, like if you got road trip allies, like if you got people with you, whether they're family or friends, like you're seeing them out of their element too, and that's kind of an interesting factor. Like we were saying about getting drawn together. You're also like, oh, this is how you party. Oh, this is how you cut loose. So it's like not only you're seeing yourself and experiencing yourself with your own five senses about how you feel about it, you're also sharing it with somebody who is also out of their element. Like you're out of your elements, but you're doing it together. Like which I think is important. Like you were talking about going solo on your spirit quest or whatever, but like the majority of the time, usually with people, and if you're with a good road trip ally or you're with family, or it's not even road trip ally but just your family, it can be better. It can be improved. It's like makes the trip even better, like knowing you're in like this shared anticipation. Which is really an interesting point of view. I don't think I ever thought about it that way. It's like, all right, we're all out of our element, and this is how you handle it, and this is how I handle it, and it's a whole total experience.
Wow. It's almost, I guess you have those road trips with family, but then what about the road trips with like, you know, friends or strangers and...
Oh, yeah. Well, I've done that too with, like, school.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, some school trips where...
Well, me and you were cross-country for a little bit. I ran with you at least once.
Yeah? What?
And, also...
I don't remember that. I don't remember the road part, but I remember us practicing. Well, what do you remember about that?
I remember, well, it's associated with something else for me. It's, well, for one, it was my first track meet, and I hadn't run with you guys at practice. Like, I joined the team late. Wow. So I didn't know how you guys operated, and I wasn't trained by, like, Joe Meese how to, you know, tackle a hill. Like what you're supposed to do is, you know, if you're burned out, you take your rest going up, and then when you come down, you run, because you got the gravity working for you.
Yeah.
But I was so burned out, by the time I got to the top of that hill, I walked down, and what ended up happening was I ended up 82nd out of I came in 80th out of 82 people, and the other 2 people were injured, so I basically came in last. And it was embarrassing.
That's not that bad, man.
But like the trip going out there, you had also, like, I was just starting to play guitar, and you showed me how to play Everlong.
Oh,
Foo Fighters.
yeah, I don't remember that.
So there's two elements that I really remember about that. Like, I don't even really remember the trip either, except for you showing me how to play guitar on the bus, and then me coming in super fucking late. I remember I was just done. I knew I was out of the race, and I like at the very last part I started running again. Like very last part, and it was embarrassing, like the last guy coming in. But it was still fun. Like I think by the time I got there, they had already started like handing trophies out. So it was like we're on this big road trip, and I learned how to play Everlon, and I got really embarrassed about where I stood when it came to running. But but fuck it, it was an experience.
Nah, but you got on the bus, so that was like, I think that's the whole experience. Is at least you went and came back.
Yeah. Well, it's like the saying, 1,000-mile journey starts with one step. You know, like the first step.
But I didn't consider like road trips like as bus trips. I mean, last like
oh yeah, well,
but now it
has that element.
Yeah, no. So actually,
well,
I just totally forgot about.
Well, you were talking about traveling with strangers, and that's the only really situation that can.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. No, that's what I meant. It's kind of like somebody you don't really know that's not family.
Yeah.
You're kind of testing the waters with them. But no, so about 2 years ago, we went up to Camp Verde. Well, I've been to Camp Verde like 4 or 5 times. And this time I rented a Nissan. And I got one of the assistant coaches to go with me, Modest, and we drove like about 6 kids up there, and
cool.
And so I think that was like, you know, the time of my life, you know. But like the way it started was, you know, got up that morning, you know, scooped up whoever was driving with us, and you know, just to kind of make. That's the thing about coaching and balling, like, you know, like you're always racing the clock. So like we had games, and I was just like, you know, trying to make good time when we were driving to Casa Grande. And as soon as I get like in the vicinity of getting a ticket, boom, I get pulled over. This is a Renault. You know, I got, you know, like, you know, I'm just. So like the kids in the back, you know, they're, you know, it's always interesting with what they're saying. So it's like, you know, so I'm just kind of like, yeah, be cool.
Yeah,
and the freaking cop guy is like, I don't know if he felt like he was schooling me or no, I don't know if he was just like being nice to me, but like the way he did it was like he said, you got 2 options. You got 3 options. You say you can call this number and pay your fine, or you can go to court, or you can get, or you could ignore it and not, and get arrested or something, or have a warrant on your name. And it was sort of like giving me options, and so the kids are like all that time are like, well, what are you gonna do? You can go to driving school, or you gonna go? Are you just gonna not care? Or, you know, this you know, that was like that was the talk of the town, the talk of the time, you know, like, you know. So like when we finally get to Camp Verde and we link up with the rest of the team, and you know, we caravan, so it's like other people that have other players, and
yeah,
Coach Sky got arrested, and you know, it's like, you know, everything that didn't happen, they say, you know, like, he has to go to driving school, or else he's gonna get a ticket, and, you know, it was awesome. Besides that point, but like besides that, that rocky start, but you know, getting there and you know, having a good passenger that's, you know, helping you out.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like,
you gotta have your
and I'm not a driver. I don't really like driving. I like to be the passenger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, because I had the rental in my name, it was I only had it insured in my name, so it was sort of like, nah, I'm the only one that can drive this car. So, but I'm not. That's not my. I rather let other people drive with me. But
yeah, most definitely.
It didn't go that way this way. So I was, you know, kind of taking on that role, and then, you know, it's like after the games, then it's like, what are we gonna do for the rest of the night? So we actually able to get these hotels that had a swimming pool, and we found this cool pizza parlor that had enough room for us, and you know, we ordered pizza like beforehand, so right when we got there, everything was set up, and you know, it was just like, I'll send you a picture of the what it was like. But yeah, man, there was like all of us TO kids, and I can't remember the name of the town because it wasn't in Camp Verde. We had to go to another town where we were staying at, but man, it wasn't Prescott. It was another place, but the kids went swimming, and I went swimming, and you know, we played some good basketball. We had like I think it was like 2 different teams. No, we had 3 teams playing in that tournament, and so no, it was just a good experience, and then, you know, coming home, but then, you know, having that ticket, but yet, you know, still, like, it wasn't nothing. You know, I took care of it, but it was definitely a talking piece for the kids.
That's cool.
So
that's so cool.
So I didn't consider that a road trip, what we were saying, but you know, it kind of was. It's just
it totally was, bro.
When you're sort of in that responsible mode, you're kind of you're just worried about everybody else.
Yeah, I was thinking that as the driver, man, you got like people sleeping, especially when you got kids in the car. It's like, man, it's a little nerve wracking. It's a responsibility, and you got to be careful. You know, you're a driver, especially those long trips. Yeah, that was probably a big turning point too for me. Like a road trip took on a different meaning when once I was old enough and experienced enough to drive.
Oh yeah.
That took on a whole other thing. Like you gotta, it's like you gotta carry the load. You gotta help share the load of driving, because that's a big part of the trip is driving. You gotta cross those miles. And I've had a lot of experiences where I pushed it. You know, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna help. Like my mom was the other driver, and she's kind of a big woman, so she gets like swelling in her legs if she sits too long. So like, or like she'll get tired as hell, like her back will start hurting. And like, if I could do any part of that leg, like if I could do more miles, it means she's driving less. So, you know, every now and then I'd push it. Like, go, like, I call 400 miles pushing it. Like, that's a good chunk of change. Like, some people are probably like, that ain't shit. But like, for me, concentrating for 4 hours straight, trying to, you know, get you somewhere while contending with traffic, I see that as a big deal. And it sucks too. Like, there's been times where like she gets sleepy, and it's like, all right, bitch, it's time for you to step up. Like, it's now. I'm like, all right, hell yeah, let's do this. And like, I'll probably be napping or something when somebody else has that responsibility, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm ready. And there's a few times where I wasn't. You know, I get behind that wheel, and like maybe 10 minutes in, I'm nodding off, like, oh shit, this is not good. Like, I'm sorry, but you got to get behind this wheel again, because I can't do it. Like, I'll be going and like just fucking dozing off, and it's like, fuck, I can't do this. Like, got everybody in the car with me. I'd have to like pull over and get some coffee or something like this. It's probably less thought of, you know, road tripping, but there's a whole safety factor too. It's like, all right, You got to get there in one piece and get back. You know, like we do want to survive this trip.
Yeah.
And shit, there's been a few times where there was one time in Kansas, and I didn't really share this with my family because I didn't want to hear what they'd say about it. But I was driving, and we were coming up on this curb, and there was a overpass, like a bridge, and we were coming up on the curb, and we were in the right lane, and I was getting tired. And I had closed my eyes, and when I opened them, we were in the left lane, and we were going towards the overpass, like, leg.
Oh, shit.
And I, just happened to come to and open my eyes, and we were in the left lane. So I changed lanes with my eyes closed, and it could have been horrible. That could have turned out like I might not even be here, or maybe I'd be here, but somebody that was my passenger wouldn't have been here. Like, it's fucked up and scary. Like that it's high stakes sometimes, and that was part of it. Like, you got to be ready to drive and aware and awake. You can't. It's one of those things. It's like you don't want to be drinking on a trip like that. Until you get there, at least you get there, and you can party down and get hung over all you want. But like, if you're gonna be one of the drivers, you can't be like getting all sauced or whatever. So, take it, like, becoming of age to take over that wheel is a game changer.
Very mature of you.
Yeah, right. Not really, if I'm gonna be dozing off at the wheel, like, fuck.
Nah, but I remember this time. I totally forgot, but remember when me and you and Joel, you guys took me back home when I was living in Tempe.
Yeah, dude, that was the shit.
But that was like, because your car, you weren't so confident in your car making it, and you were like, it's never gone that far, and I can't remember the situation, but either my bus didn't come or I missed my bus.
No, I think you did miss it, the first one, or it was gonna force you to have to leave super early. Something like that. Like, you were gonna take a bus. Like, you were either living in Tempe or you were still in school. I can't remember if you were still in school, but you were in Tempe.
Because what it was is I had a job. That was when I worked at UPS, and I was like early. Every Monday morning was midnight, so like a lot of times I would start like at 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning, and so I was sort of like, you got me out of a jam because I probably would have missed work if I took the bus that late or that early, whatever. It was just
well, I remember it was like last second we just said, all right, we're gonna, we're just gonna take you. And it was like, oh shit, like suddenly, we were just going to drop you off. I think we were even there at the fucking bus stop. And I was just like, you know what, we're going to take you. And like, suddenly it was like this hyped up, like, oh yeah, like, let's go. Like,
I remember, and then we were like, that's when CDs were a thing.
Yeah.
And then we were trying to jam the CD, and it was like we were getting into it and decided to skip. And
I remember.
That was funny though. I mean,
we were jamming Tool, like.
Yeah.
It was good too. It was really. I think it was either Lateralis or Anemia.
Yeah, I think it was Lateralis. But I mean that was a mini road trip in a way, and then you guys got me home.
Oh yeah.
I made it to work.
That was good one. Like, I'm smiling right now thinking about it.
But that was I remember that part where the CD was scratching, and I don't remember the car though. I don't remember what kind of car it was.
It was the blue Dodge Intrepid.
Yeah, no, that was funny. I mean,
we
kind of forgot about that, but yeah.
We had a chest full of beer too.
And you know what? You know the other time too is when your mom's truck messed up, and
yeah, that was a vehement.
At the Meadow Devastation.
Yeah.
And it just so happened we were there. I was there, but I didn't have a ride, but then your ride broke, so I don't know how we got someone else's truck, and then yeah, I mean that was fucking crazy.
Yeah. I think Dally Dow's people. I think they got us. I think somebody else from the Reds, they got us to your place. Like we drove up in my truck, and I think we had the AC blasting, the radio blasting, and we fucking killed the battery. Like the battery died on the way to Phoenix or Tempe, I guess.
No, that
was a good time.
That was some crazy times, but yeah, I just remember your mom all pissed, but you know, just kind of.
Yeah, she had to bail us out. I didn't have the money to get a fucking battery.
And I had no furniture in my apartment. It was like I was living in this empty apartment. Like I think I just had a TV on it.
I remember all of us. There was like 5 or 6 of us. And I remember all of us like laying in rows, just on in your living room floor.
Yeah. That was pretty wild. But that was. I mean, I wasn't in that road trip, but for a while I kind of was. When we got on the freeway, yeah, that was pretty fun.
Huh.
Yeah, shit. Have you ever gone to any, like, have you done the Greyhound?
Yes. I took Greyhound to Ohio, and I will never fucking do that again. That was fucking killer. I think it took us like 3 days, and it was fucking horrible. Like, I don't know. There's something about trying to catch somebody else's schedule, being with a shit ton of strangers, and a lot of them weren't people you wanted to be around. And I think a lot of the buses we were on were like old school, so like the seats were all like really worn in, and like it just hurt my back. Like I think the last leg of our trip, my whole body was just, it felt like somebody had beat the fuck out of my body. Like, damn, that shit was horrible. I don't think I'll ever go to Ohio. Like, I got family in Ohio, and I don't think I'll ever do that again on Greyhound. Like, maybe if I have to, or if maybe there's like a hotel stop halfway down or something. Because we just did it straight, and I think it was like 2-3 days straight of riding.
That's brutal.
It was horrible, dude. It was horrible. Like I met some pretty cool people. Like we didn't always sit together, because you know it's kind of like first come first serve on the bus.
Yeah.
And damn, like I sat by some pretty interesting people. Like you know when you're going cross country and you're taking it like a ride on a vehicle that like the Greyhound, their tickets are kind of cheap. So it's like anybody who could afford a cheap ticket is going to be on that bus. And like shit, I met like aspiring artists, like people traveling with their guitars, fucking family members going to see, like going to the funeral, or some people like, oh, I take this trip every weekend when I get off of work.
Yeah.
I will just say this, man. It was fucking brutal, and I'll never do that shit again. Unless I absolutely have to. That would be like a last fucking option.
Yeah, you know, it kind of like we're talking about bus trips. I'm like, even like riding the bus to school in the morning when you're going to like grade school and shit, and even the Aho shuttle, kind of.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was kind of an interesting. coming back and going.
Yeah.
It was kind of like.
I've done both. Yeah.
It was a little. It was always interesting because, like, you know, you never know who you're going to run into, and you know, everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And I just kind of always remember going to the bus stop and it was the Laos or one of those spots where you actually catch the shuttle.
Yeah, it's a Laos Center.
And you know, sometimes like there wouldn't be enough room, so you had to like sit in some awkward spot or even not even get on, you know. So
yeah. I always called ahead for that shit, dude. I had to get preference.
Yeah. Well, that was, you know, for a while and that's when you were in Tucson. I was kind of like, that last semester, I was like not really, like sometimes I would take the shuttle back home, other times I wouldn't, and I would go chill at that spot where you were at, or
yeah.
That's kind of, I don't know if that's considered a road trip, but even riding the city bus, that's kind of, I think when you ride the city bus, it's sort of like, you know, you have those opportunities to meet people, you know, but it doesn't mean you have to. But, you know, I have a lot of bus experience, city bus experience.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. Yeah, no, that's. I did take Greyhound to Flagstaff. And
how long a trip was that?
I don't even remember. That was so long ago. About 5 hours, 6 hours maybe. Because I remember leaving at night and then getting there early in the morning. Yeah. That was when that Greyhound. There was a Greyhound station right by the Rialto. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, damn. That hasn't been there for a while.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Shit, that doesn't even look like that area anymore. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, huh?
That's crazy. Like going back to our trip where I drove you, or me and Joel drove you home. That was already the new bus station. That was over by where the TCC's at. Well, that had already changed. Like I'm trying to go back in my memory when it was in downtown. Now there's the Rialto, there's the Club Congress, there's that new bar with all the TV screens. Shit, there's that new pizza joint, there's Beer World, there's all this like student housing, I think. It's all built up now. It doesn't even look like it used to look like.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that alleyway right there next to the Rialto where they like let people smoke, and I think the buses for the acts show up.
Yeah.
That's like the last bit that looks like it looked back then. It's like the last remaining piece is that alleyway.
Damn. Yeah, no, that's Tucson. It looks like Tucson is constantly doing that.
Yeah.
But I say that about Tempe when I go back to Tempe. Like, man, this wasn't here before. They took out that, put that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's you know, the bus thing is kind of, it's almost like I don't know, it's just because it's a bigger locomotive, kind of, but you're with a lot of different people.
Yeah. Well, when you brought up bus travel, and you're like, oh, is that a road trip? I was thinking about a train ride. And I'm like, is that a road trip? I mean, what the hell qualifies? Like, I feel like being out of your element, traveling, and experiencing new things, like, and I guess kind of like that whole vacation factor makes it a road trip.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of other. I mean, no, like I said, when I went to Montana, I was going to a conference, so it wasn't like I'm on vacation, but I guess if you have something to do in another place and you got to travel there, I don't know. Yeah, I've never been on a train though, so I can't say.
Well.
But I mean, we talked about planes, but even planes, you're flying there, so that's like an air trip.
I think if we're including planes, we gotta include trains. Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, for real, right?
Yeah.
I think I wanted to do a train. No, I actually was trying to find like a route. You know, I noticed another thing is my one of my homies at work was sort of selling it to me was a cruise ship.
Oh, damn! I didn't. Yet another mode of transportation. That's a.
Is that a road trip?
Damn it! Road is in the word, but I mean we called it road tripping the topic here, and fuck, have we even classified what the hell a road trip is? I mean, I think we're kind of skirting it now. Damn, it's a cruise ship. I guess it goes with, if you can call a plane a road trip, if you can call a train a road trip, then might as well throw boats in there too. Throw that shit in the same ring.
Yeah, but have you ever done a cruise ship? I mean,
no, I haven't.
Yeah, so I've never either, but in Tina Fey's book, she says road trips are for people that don't like to travel.
What the hell does that mean?
I mean, I think it's like flying and getting on the road, like you were saying, like people are scared of flying, but they still gotta fly.
Yeah.
I think that's where the popping the pills comes in, but like, yeah, some people don't want to fly, so get on a boat and just go really slow.
Yeah.
And there's fun things to do. You know, you eventually you're traveling, but you're kind of just going really slow on a boat. Which I hear they're very entertaining because they got like shows and food and other people. I don't know.
That's
I'll be willing to try one.
Yeah, you know, I've been thinking about it too. I mean, there's a bunch of crazy shit happening on them all the time, but
oh yeah, the what do you call it? The ship. Is it a sailor?
What?
Or captain? Yeah, the captain. There was that cruise ship that crashed, and they had a damage, and the captain just said, "Screw you guys, I'm gone," and he took off.
Dude, you bringing that up right now? Like, I just watched some shit about that. I think I was with my nephew Daniel, and he likes looking up couple guys that do like history shows, like oversimplified history, and then there's and then he likes bringing up like tragedies and shit like that. And one of them was that damn ship. And the captain, they even had him on the phone, and they're like, "Hey, you're being recorded." And they're like, "Hey, you need to get back on that boat and get us a head count and tell us how people are doing." And he's just like, "No, it's dark on there. He's like, no, I don't want to go on there. It's dark. Like, hey, man, it's half submerged. I'm not getting on that boat. And I think it's a Coast Guard guy.
Yeah.
He's either on the phone or on the helicopter on his way there. He's just like, dude. He's like, dude, you're the captain. You're the captain. You need to get back on that fucking ship. He wasn't saying fuck it. He was being very professional, but it was like, you need to climb that ladder and get back on that boat. There's people climbing down the ladder. You need to get on that ladder and get back on there. And he's just like, nope. Nope. No. It's dark out there. It's late. It's late. I don't want to get back on the ship. Like, it's half capsized. I don't want to get on there. And he's just like, sir, you're the captain. You need to get back on that ship. Get us a head count. Tell us how people are doing. And he's just like, nope. No. Dark on the ladder. Not doing it.
Well, isn't it supposed to be like the captain goes down with the ship, right? Like
that or they're the last person off.
Yeah.
If you're abandoning ship, you're the last person off. You're making sure it's actually abandoned before you get off. I think, like, I'm sure there's some maritime law about that, but I'm no sailor.
Yeah. I just got the mouth to one.
Yeah. Yes.
No, I mean, that was just... It's like half of me is like honorable to stay with it and go down, but other of us like, if I can get it on land, then I'm gonna go.
Yeah, if you got a safety boat there ready to go, a rescue ship, get on the fucking rescue ship. I don't know. I'm not a captain. I've never had to go down with a ship or lay my life on the line to make sure everybody makes it to safety. I've never had to do that.
I mean, a lot of people get hurt on that.
Oh yeah. Not as many as I would have thought. Like whenever they do a death count, I'm always like, it was just that many. But it's still, like, if it was you or your mom or your dad, like if it was your person that died, especially if it was like a low count, but still somebody died.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like, I mean, that was a giant fucking cruise ship with thousands of people on it, and I think the number was 32 people died, and there was like 200 injured. Like, damn.
Yeah, no, that's...
So yeah, I see shit like that, and I'm like, do I really want to be on a cruise right now?
So maybe cruise ships are like the ultimate road trip because one person is in charge of thousands of people. One
person at the wheel. I didn't think about it that way. When you said the ultimate road trip, I was like, I call bullshit on that, but damn.
Well, no, so maybe that's what a road trip is getting whatever, a certain amount of people from one place to another, or getting yourself from one place to another.
Yeah. Interesting. Well,
it's just not always on the road.
That's I think we're on to something here about classifying a road trip. Like, what does a road trip necessarily have to have a road? It seems more like a destination.
Yeah.
Like leaving and coming back makes a road trip almost, you know?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm looking at the clock, bro. I gotta shut this shit down. That's what all these beeps are. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're like my phone telling me I need to get my shit together and go.
Alright, bro.
Is there any like last thing you gotta say about it? Road trip?
No, I think they're needed.
Yes.
But there's a certain stake that comes with them.
Yeah.
And
They're memory makers for sure.
Oh yeah, for shout.
Yeah, for sure. Like I have an opinion about Greyhound when really it was bad, but it's still like an anecdote.
Yeah, you got through it.
Yeah. No, we made it to Ohio for sure. I have an opinion about it now. It's like I don't think I'll ever do a long trip on Greyhound ever again. Not cross country anyway. That shit was killer on my back, my body, and my soul. That shit was hardcore.
Man, no, I think we could almost do a part 2 because there's so many road trips that
I was just thinking that, yeah.
And I think I forgot about some that I remember now, but...
Well, there was a cross-country trip I made with my mom. It was just me, my mom, and my sister, and we were little. And I kept wanting to bring it up, but I never heard the context to bring it up. But sometime I'm either going to tell you in person or on this podcast about it. But we're out of time.
Yeah, we're out of time. There's a part 2 to this.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we'll call it something other than road tripping.
Yeah.
Or it'll just be road tripping part 2.
Tripping.
We gotta add it to the list, dude. Like I don't have an actual list, but we gotta get something going where we keep track of this shit. When I was writing up the breakdown or like the review, the synopsis of the episode, I couldn't remember what the topic was, but as I was listening to it, I think it was current events and COVID. It seemed like that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, well, I think so much has to be discussed because of that. And
yeah, plus it was the first episode. I was like, what the fuck are we gonna cover?
Yeah, but we got some other good topics.
We got some good ones in the archive here. I can't wait to get them up. And you know the first episode is like you got to test the water, see if you like it or not. And I think for me and you, I think we're on to something, and we're gonna keep doing this. But like, it's up to the audience if they want to keep tuning in. So it's like we got to get more than one episode up there, otherwise it's like, oh, this is it. That's all.
Yeah.
This is it. They need context. They need more things to go on. And like we said earlier about Joe Rogan, it's like content. You want to regularly produce it so people can expect it. So right away, maybe tomorrow, I gotta start it up on.
Oh yeah, you got work. You got work to do.
There's definitely work to be done here.
So get on that shit, man.
Yeah, I will.
Just kidding.
No,
yeah, man, get to work.
Yeah, I'm really worried about those 2 episodes where I tried to get creative and change up the mic situation and wound up cutting up my own voice where you can't even hear what I'm saying. So I think that's definitely going to take a long time of editing because I'm going to have to go through like an hour and a half of dialogue.
Well, even if you got to cut some of it, I think just making do with what we can get out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, there's no rules. There's not many rules to it.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what's so great about all this podcasting. I'm enjoying this. I think this was another good episode, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Right on.
All right, I'm gonna hit that big red button. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Got something to add there, Sky?
Nah, just I don't know. You got me caught. I thought we ended it long time ago.
I want to hit the big red button here. Here we go. Take it easy, people. Thanks for tuning in.